Hi, my name is Dr. Hugh Wegwerth. I'm a functional medicine doctor in Minnesota, and today's webcast is going to be on Graves' disease. So basically the topic is how to restore your thyroid gland from Graves' disease without radiation, and how to restore your health if you actually had your thyroid gland removed. So I'm going to tell you a story, and the story is really pertinent on how I want you to walk through this webinar. So there's this professor, and he absolutely despises alcohol drinking. He doesn't like alcohol drinking whatsoever. And he walks into his classroom, and he has two glasses, one glass with water and another glass with alcohol. And he also has two worms. So he raises the one glass with water and puts the worm in the glass with water, and the worm swims around just fine. Okay, the worm survives. Then he grabs the other glass with alcohol, grabs the worm, puts the worm in the glass of alcohol, and the worm thrashes around and actually ends up dying. Okay, so then he raises the glass with the dead worm, and he says, "Class, what does this represent?" And an eager student in the back said, "Well, if you drink alcohol, you're not going to get worms." Okay, so what's the moral of the story to this? See, we have the professor's viewpoint, and then we have the student's viewpoint. So I hope by the end of this workshop here on Graves' disease that you can actually come along and you can actually see my viewpoint and how it is possible for you actually to get better. So if you're out there listening to this video on Graves' disease, I would imagine that you've probably suffered a long time with your Graves' disease, and I just want to try and ease your fears. The reason why you have Graves' disease and still have this problem is because no doctor has actually dug down deep enough in your case to actually figure out exactly what's going on with you and how to get you better and how to get your thyroid working again. Because at the end of the day, if someone has told you that you have to live with this forever, I'm here to tell you that there is a completely new opportunity, right? A new opportunity for you to get better and for you to actually get to the root cause of the problem and you to actually regain your health and feel vibrant that you once did. So what are my goals? What are my goals of this workshop? So one of my goals here, my number one goal, is that you realize that there's a new opportunity out there. This is called functional medicine. I mean, this functional medicine changes everything. It changes the whole entire game and how you are actually going to get better. So what functional medicine is it's a custom tailored plan. So let me just say that again. It's a custom tailored plan to fit your exact needs. The reason why you still have a problem is because no one's actually dug down in your case and figured out exactly what's going on with your case and how you're actually going to get better with your condition. And that's what functional medicine is all about. It's all about treating you as a human being, as you as Mary, you as Kristen, you as Jill, you as Mara, you as Jillian, whatever it is. It's an individualized, custom, tailored plan that specifically fits your needs to get to the root cause of the problem. And once you get to the root cause of the problem, you're just going to get better. So I've literally been in practice now. I started in practice in 1999, so we're coming up on 2 decades. But when I was 13 years old, which is quite a few years ago, I lost 80 pounds. So they used to call me Huge. That was my nickname. So way back when I was in high school, I realized, this just isn't right. And I lost 80 pounds. And ever since then, I've been on a quest to actually help as many people as possible get well. And more importantly, get well and actually stay well. And what I really specialize in and what I've really done lots and lots of studies. I've traveled all over the country to learn this, which is what we call functional medicine. I literally have thousands, tens of thousands of hours in this education to figure out exactly what's going on with you and how you can actually get to the root cause of the problem. So this is my aha moment. So I like to call this my aha moment or my awakening or my epiphany. So this is what I'm not. I'm not an allopathic medical doctor. I'm not a gynecologist. I'm not a radiologist. I'm not a veterinarian. That's not my doctorate. My doctorate's in chiropractic. Now here's the thing, my postdoctorate training is in functional medicine. So what the heck is functional medicine? So functional medicine is a particular type of study that deals with functional endocrinology, functional neurology, functional nutrition, and functional blood chemistry on how all your systems are going to work together. Because at the end of the day, you still have a problem because no one's actually dug down and figured out the cause of the problem. And this is what functional medicine is. Functional medicine is a new opportunity. So what do I mean by that? So what's the old opportunity? The old opportunity is you going to the doctor and you going in and out. You see the endocrinologist and you're in and out in 5 minutes, and they look at your labs and they tell you everything's normal, and here's another what? Here's another medication. That's the old opportunity, right? That's an archaic way of thinking. The new opportunity is this. Let's actually look at you as a human being. Let's figure out exactly what's going on with you. Let's actually do the correct testing, right? Let's actually figure out the correct testing and look at that testing, look at that blood work on a functional level basis. So what do I mean by functional? So that would be, you want your labs to be in a normal, functional, healthy range where normal, healthy people actually start to live. And one thing when you look at medicine, over the years, has medicine become simpler or more complex? Medicine has become more and more complex. So functional medicine gets down to the basics. It gets down to the basics 101 function to figure out what's going on and how you actually get well. So, as a doctor of chiropractic, I had patients, and this particular patient is named Karen, right? So this is my epiphany or my aha moment. She was with me since the day I opened my practice in 1999, and she's still with me today. And she would come in religiously. And get her spine adjusted every other week. So she was coming to me for 15 years, every other week, and getting her spine adjusted. But she always had chronic problems. She always had low-grade thyroid problems. She always had some diabetes. She always had chronic pain. She always had fatigue. She just didn't feel very well, even though she was getting adjusted, and even though she was doing some basic fish oil and some vitamin D that I would recommend. So I started doing functional medicine. I started traveling all over the country to get this knowledge. I'm like, well, Karen, let's run some labs. Let's run some labs and actually dive down into your case and figure out exactly why you're not functioning and healing. And I was completely shocked on what I found on the blood work. I mean, she had hypothyroid condition, she had a thyroid condition, she was pre-diabetic, she was chronically inflamed, she didn't have enough vitamin D, her liver wasn't working right. I mean, I found all this stuff on this blood work, and I had an aha moment. I'm like, my goodness, we can actually get you better through a specific functional medicine program that deals with lifestyle and supplements. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Supplements are more powerful than drugs. Supplements given in the right dose for the right condition, in the right order, are more powerful than medications, than drugs. Now, how can that possibly be? For example, when we talk about magnesium, right? That's a mineral that we need. Magnesium helps us in 400 different pathways in our body. 400. Right? So if you're magnesium deficient, 400 systems in your body, enzymes are not going to work correctly. Now, if you take a statin medication or a cholesterol-lowering medication, that works on one pathway. So functional medicine works on literally hundreds and hundreds of different pathways, and that's literally how we're able to get people better. And it's getting back to the basics. It's getting rid of this complex old opportunity and going to a new opportunity and figuring out exactly how we are going to get you better. So this is one of my patients, all right? So this is Karen. And I'm just gonna have you listen to Karen's story, and this is a success story of she came into my office and she had Graves' disease. They actually diagnosed her with Graves' disease, and they actually wanted to irradiate her thyroid, and obviously she did not want to go down that path.
I came in because I knew I was having an issue with my thyroid. I'd already been to see a general practitioner, and they had diagnosed me with a hyperthyroid, and they wanted to radiate it, and I didn't think that was a good issue. So when we saw that you were having a seminar, my mom saw it in the paper and went to it. because all the issues that I was dealing with were listed on there, and yeah, so I came to talk
And there
to
you
them,
were.
and there I was.
Okay, so just so the audience knows, so you're having a hyperthyroid condition, which is called Graves' disease.
Okay.
Okay,
yes.
so the condition that she was diagnosed with, which is Graves' disease, which is exact opposite of hypothyroid. So she had a problem where her thyroid was working actually too much, and that's not a good thing either. And the next step for you was to have it radiated, like radiation. So totally. So she's been coming to see me for I think about 8 months now, or maybe even like a year. Oh, been a year. Okay. So in the past year, what's happened with your thyroid? Do you still have your thyroid?
I still have my thyroid. Yes.
Yes. So she still has her thyroid, an organ that God put in her body, and they wanted to give her radiation to get rid of her thyroid. She still has her thyroid through functional medicine. So I just want to add a couple things, like, you know, if she didn't come to my office, right, and if she didn't have the new opportunity presented, like I went down and she came to one of my lectures where I present this information and I show people the new path on how you can actually get better. So if she didn't actually come to my office, what was her solution? Her solution was they were going to irradiate, give her radiation, and eliminate her thyroid. And through a very specific custom-tailored program, guess what? We saved her thyroid.
Amen.
So yeah, amen. So that's pretty awesome. And then a couple bonus things, like, you know, keep your thyroid first. Bonus would be your hot flashes are better.
My hot flashes are better. I've dropped 4 sizes.
You don't get on the scale.
No, I didn't get on the scale at all, but I did go from, I was almost on the verge of going into 18s, and I can fit into size 10s now, so.
And then you said that your memory is better.
My memory is better as well, yes. And I don't have the brain fog that I was dealing with either, so of course my energy level is back to where it used to be. I feel I can go out and do stuff. I'm not stuck on the sofa wondering if I'm even going to make it upstairs to go to bed or not.
All things that everyone should be able to do.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. What would you say to people that have some apprehension about just doing some functional medicine or something outside the box?
I would say that you're better off approaching natural medicine because it's natural and it's going to be things that are going to be good for your body, not man-made products with chemicals and whatnot that only cause more problems down the road. So I know that was one of the reasons, is I didn't want to be on drugs the rest of my life either for something. So there's been so many benefits to just doing it through functional medicine and approaching the diet and whatnot. Challenging at first, but you overcome it, and you learn good things from it that are going to benefit you long term down the road.
Yeah, and one thing, so diet's definitely a part of it, but also throughout basically the year program, we put you on very specific supplements.
Yes, there were
right?
supplements. Yes.
And just so people know out there, those supplements are very specific, based on what Karen needed.
Yes.
Right? So these supplements are more powerful than any drug, because used in the supplement used for the right condition at the right time in the right dose is more powerful than a drug. And that's why Karen actually basically got her life back with some functional medicine, and it's outside the box. So if you're suffering, you need some help, the good news is that you can get help and you don't need to continue to suffer. You just need to do something a little different. You always got to take a little leap of faith whenever you do something different. Karen did that. And you know, what's your thyroid worth? Like, what's a gland worth? I mean, you can't even put a dollar price on organ function and just the way you feel. So anyway, I hope you found value in this, and I hope you found something that you can relate with Karen. So take care. And any last thoughts, Karen?
Well, give them a call. It's worth your time.
And get some help.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So, you know, that's a pretty awesome success story. And if you're out there and you're thinking, oh, that can't possibly happen to me, I'm out here to tell you that this can be you. Karen can be you. Like, if you watched that and you got excited and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I can actually see like there's actually another solution out there, which is called functional medicine. Functional medicine is where you're treated like a human being. Like you're treated as a human being that has a problem and you need to figure out what's going on with your condition. Now, when Karen came to me, she had a whole bunch of questions and considerations. Is it too difficult? Is it too difficult where I'm not going to be able to actually do the program? And the truth of the matter is the functional medicine that's in my office is very, very specifically laid out. It's A to B to C. It's very specifically laid out where there's an exact program that you're going to know exactly how to get better. So it's not difficult. You just have to follow the patterns. Now, one of the things that Karen was talking about, well, will my doctor approve of this therapy, of functional medicine? At the end of the day, if you're not getting results, if you're not happy with where you're at, you need to do something different. You have to give something a new opportunity. You have to give something a little bit of faith. And the thing with Karen is she sat through my lecture and she's like, oh my goodness, I actually think that this person can actually help me. And she got phenomenal results because she took one little step forward and made a leap of faith. So the next slide here, what I'm going to go over is I'm going to go over exactly specifically what we did for Karen. I'm going to go over the different labs that we ran. I'm going to go over the ranges that we found, and I'm actually going to go over a treatment plan, her very specific treatment plan, so you're going to know exactly how we got Karen better. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go over Karen's exact labs. When she came to me, she had some labs from her medical doctor, and then the exact labs that I did on her. And the purpose for this is showing you this is so you understand how detailed the functional medicine workup and the new opportunity to figure out exactly what's going on. So if you went to a doctor and you got 1 or 2 vials of blood or 3 vials of blood, that is not sufficient enough for you to figure out exactly what's going on with your case. So when I showed Karen all these labs, because once I get these labs back, I literally spend an hour with you going over all these labs so you actually understand what's going on with yourself. Because the truth of the matter is, once you know what's going on with you, you can get better quicker, right? And when I showed Karen these labs, which you'll see in a minute, she literally started crying. I mean, tears were running down her eyes, hitting the paperwork that I gave her. Why was that? Because she said, Doc Hugh, no one ever has done such a thorough workup as what you've done here. And that's the difference between the old opportunity, conventional, and functional medicine, is like we dig down and figure out what's going on. And Karen said to me, I can't believe everything that's wrong with me. She said, I can't believe that. And I said to Karen, you know what, Karen? I understand. I understand your frustration. The good news is that you're in my office here. We did the right test. We figured out exactly what's going on and how we can get you better. So look at these labs, and I was saying this to Karen, as like a learning tool. Like you actually know what's happening now versus being in a mystery and running around because you don't actually know what's happening. So let's just quickly go into this, what's going on with her. So this is the labs from the medical doctor initially before she came into me. Let me change that here. And they want to do a thyroid ablation, which is basically they wanted to radiate her thyroid, which you saw in the testimonial. She's on hyperthyroid medication to decrease her thyroid medication. Here, they did an ultrasound on her thyroid, and her thyroid is inflamed. Okay, wow. Well, that's a shocker. When you see all the blood work that I've ran, all the markers indicated that she was inflamed. So again, when it comes to the functional medicine, you have to handle your inflammation, and you do not handle it with prednisone. You actually handle it with a very specific regimen designed for you, supplements that are specifically designed, that have been researched to decrease inflammation. There's so much research on functional medicine now and supplements. I mean, the research is more extensive than drug companies. All right, so before you come into me, I'm going to have you fill out a lot of paperwork. Now, again, why do I have you fill out a lot of paperwork? Because we're doing something different, right? We're doing functional medicine. So functional medicine has to do with figuring out exactly what's going on with you. So I'm going to ask a lot of questions. In fact, the paperwork for some people can take about an hour just to get the paperwork going. So this is just the paperwork, and I just want to show her complaints: memory loss, inability to sleep. When do you do your healing? You do your healing when you're what? Sleeping. Lack of energy, aches and pains in the hips. This is a big one, the constipation. If you have any kind of GI distress, you need to handle that first. What the current medical research shows is 70 to 80% of your immune system is located in your small intestine, which is basically 32 feet long. So that's really important. So 70, actually it's 80, it's between 70 and 90% of your immune system is located in your small intestine. So this is what normal, healthy, regular bowel movements should be. You should have a bowel movement every 2 to 3 per day. You should have no constipation, no bloating, no diarrhea. You should be on no heartburn medications or acid reflux medications, or no medications for your digestive system. If you have something other than that that tells you that your digestive system, your major organ, is not working right. When that's not working right, you're going to be chronically inflamed. So if you've never had your digestive system actually addressed, when you have Graves' disease, that's a huge piece of the puzzle that's completely missing, that needs to be addressed. So, she was making a bowel movement once every day. It was constipation, it was diarrhea, she had acid reflux, she had gas. Bi-weekly, it would switch from constipation to diarrhea. So you can just kind of look like this. Her hand is shaking. She's tried routine medical care. She actually went to another MD that tried to do some stuff that didn't really work for her. Here, I want to read this. So where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? She says basically dead, because I'll see no point nor have the finances to resolve issues. So when we talk about these chronic diseases, these diseases cost lots and lots and lots of money. And here I highlighted this: lack of faith in healthcare. See only as money. See only as I'm not sure what that, money-making machine for drug companies. I mean, this is where Karen's at in her life. Like, there's no other opportunity besides functional medicine. And thank goodness she came to one of my live lectures. You're listening to this online, and I showed her the new opportunity. And we're going to do the correct blood test for you. We're going to figure out what's going on, why you're not having a success in getting healthy. If they ran all these tests on you, the 1 or 2 vials of blood, and they say everything's fine, you should not take that as, okay, everything's fine, I just have to live with it. I'm here to tell you, you do not have to live with these conditions. You can get better and get better and get back to your health. Okay, so and then here's another intake form that we have my patients fill out, and it's quite extensive, and it asks a whole bunch of questions on different organ functions. We start with the colon and an intestine and chemical intolerance and stomach, and this gives me a good idea of how involved your case actually is. And I'm looking for 2s and 3s, and you can see Karen has a lot of 2s and 3s throughout this paperwork. So we're going to check for thyroid and adrenal function and hyperthyroid function. We look for female hormones as well. So the paperwork is extensive. Now, when I'm doing blood work, I'm literally will do about 12 vials of blood. It can be 12 to 14 vials of blood. Now people are like, "Wow, doc, is anyone passed out?" And I say, no one's ever passed out, but I've gotten a lot of sick people well. Why is that? Because the lab testing is the fishing net. The bigger your fishing net, the more information you're going to be able to pull in. And when you get that information, that's when you can start to turn your case around and get better. So one thing with functional medicine, it's a polytherapy. So what does that mean? We address your case on a multiple different levels. We might be taking maybe 10 different angles at your case for you to get better. So it's not a monotherapy. It's not like, okay, you have a thyroid problem, we're going to give you Levo, or we're going to give you Synthroid, which is the medication for hypothyroid. I mean, that's so 1955. In fact, that's when that medication came on the market. It's 1955. Functional medicine looks at you as a human being and takes multiple different angles at your case for you to get better. That's why functional medicine works. That's why the only way you're going to get better is through a functional medicine program, because it's handling multiple different angles. Now, once we get this blood work back, then we have this computer system. All right, so this computer system really shows and gives me clarity, and you clarity, on what's going on. So let me just explain this. So when we have blood work, in the current conventional system, you either have diabetes or you don't, based on a number, right? Everything's based on a number. Well, that's not how the human body works. As you start to develop a disease process, you slowly get worse and worse, and then you're diagnosed with that disease process. So when we get this blood work back, we put this in this system here, and anything that is clear, you see that's clear, that's where normal, healthy, okay, this is the key definition, healthy human beings live. Anything that's in yellow tells you that that is trending towards a disease state, okay? Anything that's in red here tells you that that marker is really high. It would be like cholesterol of 250. Anything that's in this hot pink tells you that that's a very bad problem. So what I want you just to take a look at, I'm not going to dive into the nitty-gritty of this. We would do this on your individual case when you come in and you see me. But one thing you just want to take a look at, this first page, is, well, let's go up here. She has 15, right? She has 15 yellows. She has 15, you can't see that, 15 reds, and then she has 5 hot pinks, right? So when I look at this, you can just see the yellows, you can see the reds. On this page here, I mean, this is nasty right here. This is all her thyroid. Her thyroid wasn't working right. This is her cholesterol. She's really inflamed. This shows inflammatory markers. This shows a bad digestive system. Up in here, this shows like leaky gut problems. So you can see all this information is gotten from the blood work. When you take a functional medicine viewpoint of it, which is new and different, right? It's the new opportunity. And then this comes in like a 27-page report and kind of gives you details. I'm not going to go over all these things, but you know, these things here, she's chronically inflamed, she has a B12 deficiency, she has an autoimmune disease, again, B12 deficiency, she has an increased risk for cardiovascular disease and cancer, inflammatory bowel disease, her liver's not doing well, again, her liver is not doing well, digestive problems not doing well, immune insufficiency, which she has, increased inflammation. Like, look at all this stuff we're gleaning from. She could possibly have some kind of infection. She has, again, infection, chronic infection. I mean, this is what's happening with autoimmune disease and Graves' disease, and this is all gotten from the correct workup that you deserve to have. All right, you deserve to have this, and you know, that's just it. I mean, you deserve to have this. She's pre-diabetic. Here's another marker for inflammation. Damage in the liver, intestinal parasites. Okay, so you can see this is quite extensive. She's fighting an infection right now. So this is all the information that we've gotten from this. She has low vitamin D. If you have low vitamin D, you have increased risk of chronic inflammation, pain, depression, multiple sclerosis, which is autoimmune disease. So this is really extensive. Then what we do is the proof's in the pudding, right? How many times have you gone to your doctor and they've just, and then they've done post-labs? Post-labs, not trying to change a lab with drugs, but they'll give you some actually solutions for your problem, and then they'll recheck blood work. Well, I recheck blood work here. So every time that you see this little dot here, this is somewhere where I recheck the blood work, right? So I'm monitoring the blood work very, very closely. She had a bad liver problem. This is a liver marker. Here you can see it's high. Here we checked it, it's normal. And here's some other markers here. I'm not going to go through all these nitty-gritty things, but we're checking these things to make sure that they are getting better. You can see initially that was in the red, and now they're not. Red, and now they're not, right? Here's an important marker. This is a marker for global inflammation. Here it's red, here it's not. So, like, this is why functional medicine is so powerful. Okay, so we do the blood work. We get the blood work, the 12 vials of blood, then we do a couple of tests. We also do hormonal testing through saliva, not blood, through saliva. All right, Karen Kennedy, she's like, I cannot believe no doctor has ever done any of these tests to me. And you know what? You know why no doctor's ever done any of these tests to you? Because it's all driven by the insurance companies and the drug companies. The doctors don't have any freedom anymore to do what they actually think is best for you. It's the system. This is why functional medicine exits outside of the system. It's outside of the system. It's a new opportunity, and we actually can treat you like a human being. So this here is a test that we do. It's through saliva, and we check these hormones morning, noon, evening, and at night. So we get a very thorough understanding of how your hormones are going. Now, why do we check it in saliva and not blood? Okay, so when you check it in blood, that hormones it's in the blood. It's not actually in the cell. When we check it through saliva, that hormone is coming from the cell, right? So we know exactly how much hormone you actually have in your individual cell. So we are checking a lot of things here. We're checking all your estrogen levels, ladies. We're checking your progesterone, your testosterone, your morning cortisol levels, and then so this is another piece of the puzzle that we use to figure out exactly what's going on. So let's right here. This is a saliva test. Then down here we do a food sensitivity testing. This is a blood test. So what we want is all these categories sitting right here. That's what we want. All right. Now when you see these graphs that are very high like this, that tells you that you're sensitive to a particular food. Now, what does that mean? So that means if you're sensitive, every time you eat that food, that causes your body to be in a state of chronic inflammation. So you can see all these chronic inflammation, these insults that you're putting on in your body, that's going to add up to a body that's chronically inflamed, and all disease, Graves' disease, any autoimmune disease grows in a body that is inflamed. So you can see how sensitive she was. This is egg whites, right? This is the egg whites, the egg yolks, here the egg yolks of a chicken. So when I saw this, almonds, who would figure that you'd be sensitive to almonds, but she's sensitive to almonds. So she gets a little overwhelmed with this, and you might be thinking, gosh, you know what, there's no way I could ever do this. The truth of the matter is, I have the functional medicine laid out very simply that it's a stepping stone. It's A to B to C. Everything is in a gradient. So it's not like I said to Karen, here's everything you need to stop with everything. You need to take all these supplements. That's not how it works. We work in a gradient system, right? Basically a gradient system. Each little brick builds on one another, and that's the whole curriculum, and we're working together hand to hand to make sure that you get better. All right, so this is the testing. And then I write up a report on the highlights of the labs. Now, I'm sure you're out there, you've probably went to the doctor, they did 1 vial of blood, 2 vials of blood, and then you get a slip in the mail that says everything is normal, right? But you still feel like what? You still feel like CRAP, everything's normal. Well, everything's not normal. The thing is, you need to take a different viewpoint on the blood work. So when I write this report up on all the blood work that I just went over with Karen, this was basically a 4-page report. Now, when I write this report up, I explain things so people can understand it. See, this is another key component, is you have to be able to understand the information for you to get better. So it's a 4-page report, okay? So basically what happens from here, we do the blood work, we do the saliva test, we do the food sensitivity testing. I read up the report. Then Karen came back to me basically in an hour, or excuse me, 3 weeks later, and then we spent an hour going over all these lab tests and what we're going to do about it. So here, this is her treatment plan initially, and I'm not going to go into all the details of this, but there was multiple things that we started to deal with. We started to deal with her diet. We gave her specific supplements, very specific supplements for who? For Karen. Right? So if you're out there and when you come into my office, there are going to be very specific supplements for what? For you, for your individual case. Everyone, God created us different. No one has the same fingerprint, right? So everyone is unique. So over the course of a period, we've met several times. We might over a year period of time, we probably met 8-9 times, right? So then there's also going to be some homework. So I gave her some homework to do, and this is all online. I have an online university, so I tell her, okay, Karen, I want you to go and watch this video on what's good healthy fats, how leaky gut causes autoimmune disease, how gluten's bad for you, so you understand what's going on. All right. So again, this is just another visit here where we went over the different supplements. So each visit, you get extensive notes. And, one of the cool things here, it says her digestive system is much better. The hot flashes are much better. She's lost, she thinks just ballpark, about 40 pounds. In the video, she was at almost an 18, right? And I think at the end, she was down to about a 10. So again, these are just the supplements that we went over. And between the in-office visits, there can be in-office visits or everything can be done over the phone and online. So if you're not local here, I'm in the Twin Cities. If you're way up north or way down south or way out west, this can be done over the phone through technology called the internet. So that's the good thing. So the notes are very extensive, and what we do is very extensive. All right, so this next video is a success story, Ardis. And Ardis had Graves' disease, and she had her thyroid removed. So if you're in this situation and you have Graves' disease and it's already been removed, there is hope, okay? There's hope through functional medicine because your thyroid was removed because the underlying cause was never actually discovered, right? So the cause is still sitting there, and if the cause is still sitting there, you're probably still feeling like 𝗂𝗏, just like Ardis was. What condition did you have?
It was just called Graves' disease. I had no idea what. I mean, the reason I went is because I got the shakes so bad, which at that time could have been a lot of things.
Yeah, right.
So basically, Graves' disease, it means that you have no thyroid.
No, no thyroid whatsoever. Now. They burned it out.
They burned it out. Okay.
Yeah. And now I'm finding, I don't know if it's because I'm getting healthier, but I'm finding I'm feeling different than I did before. Now I notice the heat. Before I noticed nothing.
Tell us about your before you came in, you had Crohn's disease.
Yes. Crohn's disease, well, most people know what it is. It's a horrible issue disease. I don't wish that on anyone. But since I went on this functional medicine and I've been doing what you tell me to do, I don't have problems with Crohn's disease.
And how long did you have Crohn's disease for?
Oh, many years, since probably 1986, I think, when I was diagnosed.
So 86, 96, 2006.
That's a long time.
20
I'm old, okay? I'm 70. How much more do you need?
That's 25 years of Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
And it's gone. Yes.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's gone, right? I mean, I want you to be the next testimonial, right? So when Ardis came into me, she's like, I'm too old. I'm like, no, Ardis, you're not too old. Are you too old to actually go out and have fun at your grandkids' soccer game or baseball game? No, you're never too old. Like, if you're alive, you're young enough to get better, right? And she had all these different questions. Is it hard? I said, Ardis, I'm going to be there for you. We have all this online curriculum where you can, all this education that's online that you can go and you can just watch these videos, and you can watch the videos over and over and over for me. So, I mean, this is a success story that you can have. You could be the next success story.
No problems at all. Thank you and God.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's great. That's awesome. When it comes to your sleep, you had to take sleeping meds, right?
I took 2 every night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even with that, you weren't getting good sleep.
No, I never got more than 5 hours of sleep, and I ever not more than 5 hours. Now I'm sleeping 7 hours, and I wake up fully awake and can jump out of bed and do something, which is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I've lost about 24 pounds, and I've got a long ways to go, but I feel better. I feel much better. I can't believe how much better I feel.
That's awesome.
And my golf game has improved. And I can walk the course.
Yeah, that's great. Okay.
So if you come to see any of these doctors here, I'm suggesting you do the functional medicine, go all the way. I really, really believe in it. And I have never felt so good in such a short time. I mean, I'm amazed. And I have a daughter that came here, but she had to move to Arizona, and she said this is the only thing she really misses. She really misses this.
She does.
Yeah.
That's good.
It took you a while to get across to me that I was important enough to do your functional medicine.
Yeah, it did.
Because that is something that most people are leery about doing. You know, it's an out of pocket expense, just something that you just don't do for yourself. And then I thought, why wouldn't I do it? I would spend that kind of money on a vacation or anything else, and I'm so glad I did it. It's unbelievable because it absolutely changed my life. It really did.
It's pretty awesome, huh? So at the end of the day, I want you to be the next testimonial. Now, when Iris came to me, she was, she's 70. She's like, I'm only going to do something if Medicare pays for it, right? That was her, her whole thing. I want Medicare to pay for it. I want my insurance to pay for it. So here's the good news about that. The good news is when it comes to insurance, insurance does not pay for functional medicine. Now you're probably thinking, Doc Hugh, how is that good news? Why is that good news? Is because when insurance doesn't pay for something, guess what? You can be treated like a human being. You can be treated like a mom, a grandma, a sister, an aunt. You can be treated like a human being, not what your insurance company wants you to be treated as. See, when you exit out and insurance doesn't pay for things, you can be treated as a human being, and then you can do the correct testing. Right now, if you're watching the video, you go to the old opportunity, and guess what? The doctors are handcuffed. They can't run the test. They can't do what needs to be done. They can't spend the time with you. Why? Because insurance pays for it. Because they have the gatekeeper up there, which is the guy with the NBA, telling them what can and cannot be done. See, so you deserve to have this workup, right? Everyone deserves to have this workup, and you can totally have this workup, and you can be treated like a human being, right? This is the key thing. So this is my what if slide, right? So what if? What if we did all the testing, right? We did the 12 vials of blood on you. We did the food sensitivity testing. We did the hormonal testing. Do you think you would get better, right? Do you think you would get better? So you would get better, and you deserve to have this. This is what functional medicine is. This is the opportunity for you to get better, the new opportunity for you to get better. Or has this been the only thing that you've been given, right? If this is the only thing here that you've been given, this drugs right here, like you deserve more. You deserve more as a human being than this one solution, which is drugs and surgery. And functional medicine is an opportunity for you in my office. You can get better in my office with functional medicine. And if you're way outside of the Twin Cities, guess what? You can still get better over the internet and over phone conversations. So at this point here, all right, many people are like really excited, like, wow, I've never presented this information. I've never seen this information before. And a lot of people are really like overwhelmed with all the stuff that I've just went over in the last like 45 minutes. So if you're overwhelmed, which most people are, the next step would be for you to see me, come in personally and see me, or we can do this over the phone. So I'm going to tell you what this new opportunity looks like. So what we would do is we would have a consultation, roughly an hour of my time, right? Not 5 minutes, an hour of my time. We can do this over the phone. We can do this over the internet. We can do it on Skype, right? There's a lot of different ways that we can do this. Now, on this link here, there's going to be an opportunity for you to schedule an appointment and get on my schedule so we can actually see what we can do to help you. We're going to go over your prior labs. You don't have to have prior labs, but if you have them, great. We're going to go over, is this the right approach for you to get better? We're going to go over a plan of action. And here's the thing, if you have a significant other, I tell you that they should probably be there. Why is that? Because in my experience of almost 2 decades, when the spouse is there, guess what? The person is going to get better quicker. So what I've done is my normal fee for this is normal $287. Now, what I've done here is I've reduced it to $87. All right, now why did I reduce it? Because I want to take away all the financial barriers for you So you can come and see me. Now, this also here, the $87, it actually tells me that you have some skin in the game and that you're actually you're really wanting to come in and get some help. So what you're going to want to do is email me. You can email me through this link, or down below you can just schedule an appointment. Now you're going to have to pay that money today, cash. Well, it can't be cash check or credit card. Now, why do I have people do that? Because I'm reserving an hour of my time and I'm reserving an hour of your time. I just want to make sure that people are committed to moving forward with the appointment. Now here, I want to go over this right here. Now this is, I hope you can see this. So this right here is my wife. She fell and she broke her arm. You can see that, and that's her name right there, Kristen Wegwerth. So we went to the orthopedic guy, right? And the orthopedic guy was literally with my wife for 5 minutes. And you can see right here, the office visit. Can you see how much that was? $296, literally for a 5-minute office call. The guy came in, he looked at the x-rays. He said that they're, yep, he looked at the x-rays, fracture. I'm gonna bring my assistant in, and we're gonna give you a cast. So literally, I ended up paying $296 plus the casting fee, which was like another $150, plus the fee for the assistant to wrap the cast. So literally, we were in and out of that office within 30 minutes, and I had a $600 bill, right? So when we talk about functional medicine, getting to the root cause of your problem is going to save you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars over a period of time. Next question people have is, can I help everybody, right? So the truth of the matter is, I can't help everybody. There's certain people that I can help. There's the A students, which do everything to a T. Everything I tell them, they're going to do, right? There's the B students. They say, yeah, doc, I'm willing to do it, but sometimes I fall off the horse, and sometimes I might need a little help to get back on. A and B students are going to get phenomenal results. C students are this. Well, let me go and think about it. I'm not really sure. Can I call you? I do not accept C students, and this is why. Is because they're not fully committed. I've tried to work with these people, and in the past, it's just been too difficult. So if you're an A or B student, you're definitely going to get better. Now, what does it cost? I don't know what it's going to cost. I can give you ballpark ranges, but I don't know the exact details. That really is what the consultation is for, to sit down one-on-one, have a conversation, you and I, and figure out exactly how extensive your case is actually going to be. All the finances are going to be laid out that day, very, very specifically on what I think it's going to take to get you better. Okay, so here is one last success story. This is another autoimmune case, and this is, her name is Jackie.
Well, my name is Jackie, and I was diagnosed with lupus in 2006. I actually was diagnosed with lupus and Sjogren's syndrome. My initial, I couldn't, my rings wouldn't fit on my fingers, my feet didn't fit in my shoes. I had just inflammation rampant across my whole body. It hurt to get up in the morning, it hurt to walk, it hurt to carry my son's car seat. I mean, it was just awful. Immediately they said, oh, you've got lupus. You've got lupus. So we're going to give you some medications.
Okay.
And here we are. We've got let's take care of this. So we got methotrexate, which is a chemotherapy drug that suppresses the immune system.
Okay, so I just want to take a note here. She has lupus, but they give her a medication, methotrexate, for what? Cancer, right? So this is how desperate does someone have to be to take a medication that's for cancer, and she has an autoimmune disease. And guess what? Like, she had chronic inflammation. No one addressed her as a human being. No one gave her the new opportunity. No one addressed the functional medicine aspect.
And this is naproxen, which is, they also gave me Tylenol 3 for pain. And again, all of these medications are just masking the problem.
Right.
They're not taking care of it. So and the thing that really took care of my swelling was prednisone. And so from 2000.
So she was on prednisone daily. Guess what? She's completely off prednisone. Completely off. So if you're on prednisone out there right now, I'm telling you, you can get off this medication with a functional medicine approach in my office.
2006 to like last September, Labor Day was my cutoff day of taking prednisone. I get a flare up again and they go, oh, you need more prednisone. I was, okay, I got more prednisone. My whole goal was to get off it, but every time I tried to get off it, I'd be great for a while, and then I'd have this huge flare up all over again. And so I didn't quite know what to do until I came here. Well, the first step was I got some blood work done, and we looked over the blood work and saw all what the broken strings were. And Dr. Hugh pretty much knew what to do to help mend those broken strings. What is life like now? Well, I wake up in the morning and I feel rested. I have energy. My hair is thicker. I feel like I have a ton of energy for my kids. I teach, and I'm loving life, really.
That's awesome.
It's been wonderful. I never knew that something so simple could make such a huge difference.
Here's another thing. Something so simple, right? Functional medicine is getting down to the basics. Medicine is very, very complex. Functional medicine is basic. I mean, it's literally taken me 30 years to accumulate this information. So I know a lot of information, but at the end of the day, it's not a complex thing.
And my health and how I feel about myself, and everybody's noticing how different I look. And
That's great.
Being able to sleep without pain. I feel like I get everything done in the time that I have. Whereas before, I was sluggish and I was slow, and I have to do that. I mean, even my attitude toward life was depressed. I felt depression. I actually have a depression pill in here too. You know, I mean, it's.
Guess what? She's off depression medication. The old system, we don't know what's going on with you. Let's write you a what? An antidepressant medication. I mean, if you have chronic inflammation, if you have all these things going on that I just went over and they're not addressed, yeah, you're going to be depressed. But the good news is the greatest doctor you have is inside your body. You can get better.
I don't need that anymore either, by the way. I wanted to be healthy. I was sick of being sick. And I would say go to a seminar, because that's what I did. I went to a seminar first. They're free. You know, go. It's like an hour and a half, 2 hours of your time. And I was blown away with what I had been doing that was making me sick. I had no idea. I did not know. And ignorance is not bliss. You know, you don't want to go through life sick. So I went to this workshop. It was free. And I brought my husband along the second time because I wanted him to hear it too. And that's a key thing, by the way, is if you're trying something new, get a support group around you, even if it's just one person like your husband. I'm just so grateful to have gone to that seminar because it totally turned everything on its ear. It's made a difference for me and my husband and my family, and we're healthy. And without your health, you have nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so she tried everything. She went to every doctor, every medical doctor, and she came to one of my workshops, and I showed her functional medicine, the new opportunity. She got better, right? And she had some considerations about the finances, because the good news is that insurance doesn't pay for functional medicine. So if it doesn't pay for it, we can actually custom design what you actually need for you to get better, right? It's actually your investment, your money, you determine that, and we can custom design plans for you. She said that she's saving so much money over the long haul. I mean, she had a $5,000 deductible, and then she had an 80/20. I mean, every year she was spending $8,000 on her care between the expensive medications, the rheumatologist visits, the expensive labs, right? So functional medicine, once you get to the cause of the problem and handle your problem, you save thousands and thousands of dollars. Not only you save thousands and thousands of dollars, but you can actually enjoy life. You can enjoy your kids. You can enjoy, life the way God designed us on this planet here to enjoy our life. So this is her medicine cabinet. So I consider this here to be her medicine cabinet. This is actually Jackie's picture of her medicine cabinet. Look at all these drugs here. This is all drugs, all right? So then when she comes to me and we do functional medicine, this is her medicine cabinet now. So you can see in here, we put her on a bunch of different herbs to kill bugs in her digestive system, decrease her inflammation. We gave her some fish oil, specific fish oil. She was sensitive to dairy. This right here is to help the cell membranes. Over here we got some probiotics. We got some B12. She was a little iron deficient. So this is a very thorough workup and transition. And then on top of that here, this is my 𝗙𝘂 University. This right here is 30 years of accumulation of knowledge. Just with this information right here, I literally had to spend, you might be shocked at that, but all this information that's in my brain right here is like $300,000 of information that I'm giving you, right? Presenting you in very, very specific, detailed frames. So you don't have to run around. You don't have to go to Dr. Google. You don't have to read 100 books. Like I've made all this investment. I studied all these books, and then I put it online for you to make it very efficient so you don't have to be overwhelmed. So this is my current library that I have online. So these are the different workshops I would have you read. So if you're pre-diabetic, or not read, look at, if you're pre-diabetic, I'd say, okay, here you want to watch this one. It's on diabetes and pre-diabetes. Here you want to understand how your thyroid works. Here we want to start to influence your brain and make sure that your brain has good energy. So maximize your energy production with the correct fats. Save your brain. So there's all these specific workshops to take out the work. So it's very easy and very efficient for you to get better, just like Jackie did. Okay, so there's just one last story here. So there's this guy, and it's in the Gulf Coast, and there's a big hurricane coming in, and they're evacuating the whole entire town. So the National Guard comes up and they knock on his door. They knock on the door and they say, hey, you gotta leave because this whole area is gonna be flooded. He says, no, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna do what? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna pray about it. The National Guards leave. They come back a few days later, and now the water, his house is flooded. And he's on his roof, right? He's on his roof, and the National Guard yells down, hey, you need to come down here because it's going to get very, very bad, and your whole house is going to be completely flooded. He says, no, I'm going to sit here and do what? I'm going to sit here and what? Pray about it. All right, the next day, his whole house is underwater. He's on the chimney, just like a little squirrel, right? Just like a little squirrel. A chopper comes in, and they drop him a line down there, right? And they yell down, this is your last opportunity. Grab the ladder. What does our friend say? He says, no, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to do what? Pray about it. What happens to our friend? He dies, okay? Now he's in heaven, and he sees God, and he walks up to God. He's really mad at God. He says, God, what happened? I sit here and I prayed. And God said this. He said, well, fella, I sent you a Jeep, and you didn't take that. I sent you a boat, and you didn't take that. I even sent you a helicopter, and you didn't take that either. What else was I supposed to do? Okay? So here's the moral of the story. I don't know where you are in your healthcare journey. I don't know if you were diagnosed with Graves' disease a month ago and you still have your thyroid. I don't know if you were diagnosed with Graves' disease 5-10 years ago and you have your thyroid, or maybe you don't have your thyroid. I don't know if you were diagnosed with Graves' disease 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago and they tore your thyroid out. At the end of the day, no matter what you do in life, there's always a little leap of, what's this guy doing right here? Always a little leap of faith. These 3 success stories that you've seen here all took a little leap of what? Of faith in the new opportunity called functional medicine, which you can only get this in my practice. It's a very, very efficient system. So if you want help, this is an opportunity for you to get help. The next step is to take action. Information is great, but information's not going to get you out of your situation. You need to move forward with action. You can email me this through this link, or down below, there's going to be a link to make an appointment with me and get better. The greatest doctor you have is inside your body. There's no pill, there's no lotion that's greater than the doctor within. So then what we need to do through functional medicine is figure out why your doctor is not healing your body. Once we figure out that, guess what? You're on the road to recovery and you're going to get your life back. Take care.